my name is Burke. I am not currently an RCOS member, but I will be participating next semester. So the project that I worked on was actually through the Foundry program that you just heard about. And so it's called the Foundry dashboard through the Severino Center, as was mentioned a minute ago. And so for those of you that still would like to know a little more about Foundry, Foundry is basically a program it's for students who would like to become entrepreneurs, who have good ideas, and they might have the technical know-how, but not necessarily the business know-how. Don't necessarily know how to get through the business side of things. And so basically, students form teams of people. They have projects, not unlike RCOS. It's actually very similar to the format to RCOS. And so they meet, basically students are tasked with taking their business and outlining what they would like to achieve, their business model, their target customers, all those sorts of things that you need to know. And then they're also charged with tracking their weekly progress and setting goals for themselves. And then from there, reporting back to all the other projects at weekly meetings. And so basically it's adding a bit of a social element to the entrepreneurial process in the same way that here at RCOS, people come and they sometimes speak about problems that they're having, and there's a large community of people that can help them solve these problems. The Foundry program works in the same way. And so the Foundry dashboard is basically an application that helps the participants in the program track all of this stuff. And the Foundry dashboard is actually based off of Observatory, the application that RCOS uses for its website. We forked the repository a while ago, and see if I can get my So we forked the repository a while ago and started building on top of it. And we've decided that we would like to move the project to RCOS next semester so that we can virtual box. Why don't you go? So we were trying to move the project over to RCOS so that we can better have access to better resources to help us develop. Because right now our team is our development team is a little small. We'll do Windows. Snap this window or something. So this is my development environment, so the password is not important. It's QWERT if you really want to know. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, it's giving me enough. There we go. All right, so as you can see, it looks probably pretty similar to Observatory, the RCOS website. And so the key differences, however, are that it tracks basically your mission statement, your objectives, your key results, which are basically your milestones, your goals you want to hit, your business model, and then it has what are called management reports, which are those weekly updates that we talked about earlier. And if you fly around the site a little more, there's the same people section, the project section. Again, this is my development environment, so there's not really much to see, but yeah, sample aggregated management reports from all the different projects. And yeah, so after this done. So we've been developing it this semester. The problems that we've been running into are that the Foundry program is still somewhat young here at RPI, and it's still actively evolving. I'm gonna go for you here. And so we're kind of developing, we've been kind of shooting at a moving target a little bit, but we're trying to kind of refine our goals here for next semester, and we're hoping that bringing it to RCOS is going to help us achieve that. And so I'd like to open up a bit of a discussion. As we saw a minute ago, there are definitely people in this room that are interested, that have ideas that they would like to potentially monetize at some point. And so we're kind of looking to try and figure out how we can help bridge that gap between RCOS and the Foundry program, so that people who have gained experience and technical knowledge working through RCOS can then take their new ideas that they have and start up a business, and it'll seem very familiar and it'll be the same process. And so it's very obvious, like I said, that the parallels between RCOS and Foundry exist. And so, as we saw, people were definitely interested. But moving forward, there's some things that we were planning on implementing next semester that I think RCOS would probably benefit from as well. Would like to gauge people's interest in this room in implementing some of those features perhaps, or seeing how we can make the two programs synergize a little bit better. And so one of those is like tracking and stating milestones in your project proposal. That's something that we've this semester tried to flesh out more in the Foundry program, and it seems to be something that RCOS does, sort of. You have obviously an end goal, but it seems that it would be beneficial to, I guess, break it down into smaller steps and to say in very finite terms what exactly you're going to achieve. And another one of those things is weekly problem tracking. I think personally that that's something that both the Foundry program and the RCOS would benefit from hugely, is being able to have an aggregated place where you can just post problems and actually have access to the huge knowledge base that is around you, this community of computer scientists. And yeah, so that's kind of the fundamental thing about Foundry is the social aspect. And so getting help from those people, I think, really needs to be easier. So I guess if someone would like to kind of to volunteer here, does it seem that these would be useful things, and are there more? Where else would you like it to go? I guess in terms of the similarities. And
so maybe I'll help get things started. So one thing that I've thought about being, taking on this with Morthy being on sabbatical, is how to get a little more structure in place without breaking the current model that RCOS uses, right? So would it work? Would it help? Would it just get in the way? Right now, you get an email every so often that your blog is out of date. Is blogging just simply out of date? We need some other way to track things and look for milestones, as opposed to just blogging and trying to write something every so often. So what do you guys think, working on projects here this semester, past semesters in RCOS? What do you guys think?
Definitely keeping track of, finite milestones is a lot more organized and inspires a lot more accountability for projects than simply blogging, because when you blog, it's like you don't update the blog and then nobody really cares. But if you have your milestones and you miss your milestones, it's an issue.
So instead of blogs, people like video demos. So if you have like a good demo set up of each of the milestones, and just put up a demo on the team. Does this, shit like. And then just actual visually
That makes sense. So something this system could even do is have an ability to put some video up, just kind of a demo as to what milestones you've reached or what features you've added.
it certainly seems to be anybody else?
Well, I just have a comment on that. I think we had like a more, I guess, maybe like shorter and more presentations. So almost like having like scrum sort of thing instead of like all these long presentations. I think people would be forced to present more often and have so make more progress more frequently.
That's something that the Foundry program employs. They require weekly management reports, and then the other requirement of all the other members is that everybody who's participating has to read all the other projects' management reports prior to that week's meeting, so that they can be up to date. And then once the meeting happens, it's not really about everyone presenting. It might be like a quick summary or elaboration, but from there it's actually talking about the problems and utilizing the resources rather than just mindlessly lecturing people for who knows how long.
I really liked your idea. How long do you guys think it should be? Is it a 2-minute presentation? What is it?
I mean, I guess it partially depends on the number of projects that we have. Like if we want to present all projects, I mean, I don't know. I think 5 minutes is probably a reasonable amount of time if you're presenting weekly, and it's more like a diff rather than a like this is exactly what my project is and everything I've done.
Okay. So it could be like if I was company A and I was sent out to go meet with 3 people for funding, I'm going to report back and say, here's my pitch. And first person really liked this, but hated these two
Yeah.
slides, the second one, just so we can share that knowledge with everybody so people can learn faster. All right, I like that. David, what do you say?
I was thinking if we had like one mandatory like big 10-minute presentation, and then the RCOS meetings would be like the first half would be like 30 minutes, and then like the second 30 minutes you have like a group of groups that are all working on similar things, and you like split up into corners of the room or whatever, and each group just goes forward and does like every week you just give a 2-minute update to your like local space. And so the groups that would pair up would be either friends or people who are interested in similar things. That way you like want to engage and you want to harass them and whatnot. And you want them to succeed. And then you're more interested in them. And so instead of having instead of everybody knowing everything, everybody watches like one major presentation, and more if groups want to do it more often. Then every week you meet with your like your core 10 or 15 people, and just give like each a 2-minute update or something.
Right, just kind of rolling around the room, that group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, like if each of those groups also presented like any serious issues that their little group had,
Yeah.
that is short of still have everybody be somewhat engaged with everybody.
Okay, so if like 5 people are having an IP issue, then you raise that to the
Yeah.
group. Is anybody, I'm just talking to these, does anybody else have anything to add?
Yes.
I did.
So one of the things I want to make sure is that our current model, the goal is you guys present and then you get feedback and questions from the audience. We don't want to make that go away, right? So we want to make sure that that's one of the key goals of what we do here, right? Is garner feedback from the whole crew. We have a great audience. But then also the experience of you guys presenting, right? So you don't always get that in your classroom experience. So it's a good place for you to practice that and get better at it and so on as well. So I think those are 2 key things I know in my head that we want to keep, right? Whatever we do next semester. Other ideas specific to what Burke is presenting, like the Foundry, the observatory being modified, anything along those lines?
Can I say, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say there should be like an easier way for people to like ask questions or comment on the blog post or whatever the replacement is. So like let's say there's a milestone reached and someone's looking at a project, like that's a question about whatever, that's a question about why it's just working this way, and should be able to do that instead of just reaching out to different persons.
Did you hear that up there?
I heard the first part, but I kind of missed it. Are you referring to more to like a comment system type thing, or?
Sure, it doesn't have to be a comment system.
Yeah.
It's sort of an open like message boards and CP project.
Forums?
So yeah, anything, just some sort of way to.
Yeah, some kind of forum, some kind of, I really think that the direction that we're looking to go in is towards more open discussion, and then like, now that RCOS is over 100 members now, right? Yeah, I think we should try and like tap into all that knowledge. We have a huge knowledge base of very intelligent people here, and we should be using them as best as possible.
I need some advice list would be awesome. So just like, it's a tab, you go there and you can post question.
Yeah, I think an aggregated like issue tracker type thing, or like I'm having this problem, and then you can tag it, categorize it, whatever, and then I'm sure there's people that have that type of
Just
knowledge.
like skim through. Just do this.
But like an ID tab. Like an ID tab, so that you can go look at everything else.
Something that's just like quick and easy to test.
Yeah, just like there's another branch on the site that shows each project that has problems that it's having, and then there could be a tab that just aggregates all of those problems and then can filter them however you'd like.
That's a very good.
So what I was going to say is that we actually sort of have this in the sense that the mailing list exists and people, if you email it to, you will get a response. But I think I haven't seen anyone actually email questions to it in the last semester. And so I'm just going to turn around because this is really awkward. But so Google Summer of Code, they run like 5,000 kids through open source software every summer. And what most of the large projects do once they start having a bunch of people working is they require weekly status reports from your people who are working on it. And what they do is you email that project's list So like I did Nmap, and so you would email like every week what you did that week, and then you get these random guys from all over the place commenting on your stuff on an email list. And this is not an easy technical solution, or it is, but it's not like a website technical solution. It's just we switch the blog posts to emails to the list, so that way everyone gets them. And then we can screw with the meeting formats a bit. But that's sort of the easy fix that might actually solve this problem. Because I know that I occasionally read blog posts, and I think I'm the only person in the room who does.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone here read a blog post in Observatory? Would you guys be?
TLDR.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Would people be interested in having them go to the email list instead?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, beyond that, what about like kind of trying to make the blog posts more concise or more direct, I suppose, so that it's not just a huge wall of text that everyone says, no, I don't want to read, but it can get out the information that really needs to get out so that people
What about
are
actually
actually...
limited it to 256 characters?
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, that group needs to go because they wanted to go first, and that your dude already left, right? Or
No, I'm still here.
You're still here, so we
I
should,
know,
we
that's
should
what I was
shut up and let them go. But there'll be emails on the list, which everyone receives, right? Okay. That's probably where we should take this because we have a lot of time.
Thank you.